coach, and I help people advance in their careers. A couple of years ago, a female client approached me, and she said, Lea, I want to move forward in my career, and I'm not really sure where to head to. I don't know the direction, and I don't know what opportunities are out there for me. And what she was thinking of herself was that she didn't have any strength. She was thinking that there's nothing that she's particularly good at, and she kept comparing herself to male colleagues who were expert in their field, and she thought of herself that she didn't have that. At first, I was thinking, well, that sounds like me. Back in the days, in the beginning of my career, I never knew what to do. I just studied something that kept all opportunities open for me, and I never had a plan until I graduated. And even afterwards, I just took the first job that I could get. So I started investigating with her, what is it that she's really good at? So I asked her, what is it that you can do that doesn't cost you any effort, that you do because it's so easy, that you don't even notice that you're doing it? And after a while, she realized, that she was really good at building strong relationships, at maintaining strong relationships, at keeping a good overview over all projects that are going on, at managing the projects, at resolving conflicts, at handling difficult conversations. So it was really the social skills that were her key skill. So it was the soft skills. And it turned out over the years that she wouldn't be the only client that approached me with that problem. So there were many more female clients to come that all had the same problem. They thought they didn't have any strength. And when I noticed this, that it accumulated, it got me really angry, and I was so annoyed. I was annoyed by the fact that we still have a two-class society out there. It's in society and it's in businesses. It's the two classes that are divided by hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills that are paid well, and the soft skills that are somehow not perceived as valuable and are very low paid. And when I tried to analyze the situation and understand it a bit better, visualize it to me, I noticed that it was like traveling to a foreign country. It's like when you all of a sudden have this new currency in your hand, and something doesn't cost you 10 euros anymore, but 5,000 pesetas. And you're like, is this expensive or not? Well, let's buy it. And you can still notice with your parents or grandparents that they still didn't get a good grasp for the euro. They're still comparing it to the old currency we had. So it takes quite a while to get used to a different currency. And there's a very nice quote from Einstein: everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. And why am I saying all of this? It's in the old economy, old businesses, we have kind of noticed that soft skills are somewhat important. When you look at all employee engagement studies, research, it is shown that leaders who are listening to their employees, who are paying full attention when someone is talking, who are encouraging people to speak up to speak their mind and to raise ideas and just try them. Those leaders have the most motivated employees. And employees never leave their company. They leave their leaders. And this is one reason why these soft skills are so important and why they should be acknowledged a lot more. In new work, we don't need as many managers anymore as we did before. So in the old economy, management was the core skill, this analytical thinking, planning, and so on. Whereas in the new work, leadership becomes much more important. And for leadership, you need soft skills. And leadership will not be bound only to one person, but leadership becomes important to every single one of us. Self-leadership is a key competency that we all need. We need to be able to manage ourselves. We need to be able to lead ourselves. And wait a second. One reason why this is happening is because new work is changing the way people work. We are more and more in complex, dynamic environments where there's a high level of competition, where companies need to make sure that they keep efficiency and innovation in balance. They need to become ambidextrous. And this is why they cannot afford to have just the hard skills in place. They also need to make sure that soft skills are in place. One very nice example where it is displayed, obviously, is the agile IT environment. I don't know how familiar you are with IT teams and how they're working, but there's always the hard skills developers, and then every developer team has an agile coach. And this agile coach has soft skills that help him or her to empower every single one in the team to work self-organized, to know how to take decisions, to help that person to resolve conflicts, to help resolve conflicts within teams, and to empower them. And as this is they have a long history of self-organization in IT teams, and they also acknowledge that they need to balance out these two sets of skills. I think I'm good in time. One thing that also becomes very important in new work environments is the methodology of effectuation. The methodology of effectuation is a method that successful entrepreneurs use. They use it on a daily basis, and it's the counterpart to management. It's the counterpart to causation. So when back in the days, the future seemed to be clear, and you knew that you could just plan the future ahead and do your Excel spreadsheets where you put down all the milestones and everything is happening as you planned it, in best case. This is not working well anymore. So you need to be prepared to take good decisions for an unforeseeable future. And there's 4 principles to that that help you take the right decisions. One principle is called bird in hand. So you're not waiting anymore to get this and that resources out there, but you take what you have. You become aware of yourself, knowing who you are and what you can do and who you know, and you're going to use whatever you already have. The next one is the lemonade principle. If life gives you lemons, just turn it into lemonade. And this is a core strength to be able to use whatever comes and make something out of it. You build up partnerships in unforeseeable situations just because they're there, the opportunity's out there, and you are willing to invest the affordable loss. So one example is my colleague who, before we met, she was working in a big company. She was not very happy there. And she was thinking, well, what should I do? How should I change my career? So at first, she thought of her affordable loss. She reduced her hours. Then she was checking in her network. Who do I know? She found some people, but also she did her research in Google and was just Googling for what she was planning to work in. So she Googled new work trainings, and there she found me. And she asked, hey, you're up for a coffee? And that's when we started working together. So she was just using partnerships as a means of getting into the future. And this is actually, all of this, a decision principle that successful teams are using to succeed in this dynamic environment. And to me, I noticed now that I know of this principle that I have been using it all of my life. But back in the days when I didn't know about it, I just felt I did something wrong. Because when I first started coaching school, I told a friend about it. Hey, I signed up for this, la la la. And he told me, did you investigate about this? You know what you're going to do with it? You know if it's worth the money? Who are other graduates? Do they have a name in the industry? I was standing there thinking, oh my God, I just made a big mistake. But now that I know that there's also a different way of taking decisions, I know that it wasn't me who was wrong about doing something the way I do it. I just noticed that there's two different ways of doing things. And when it comes to diversity in the work context, we need to acknowledge a lot more that there needs to be a balance between different methodologies, between different sets of skills, to create equality within the team and within the companies. And that's all. Thanks.